Sup flappers, welcome back to another video, and before we get started I would just like to let you guys know that we are on our way to 50,000 subscribers. Now, taking a bit of a trip down memory lane, I first started making Genshin Impact content back in November of 2020, right? And now fast forward 1 year, we are sitting here. I never knew what was gonna happen, but we're here, okay? And we have made a long and treacherous journey from I believe a couple hundred subscribers now to 40,000 plus strong. And thank you guys for being here for the ups and downs of all of what happened in Genshin Impact as well as what happened in my life. Now we are a tad bit away from 50,000 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button and help me make that final push to 50k before the end of the year. That would be very much appreciated. So with that said, let's get into the video. Now, Albedo has been one of the characters that I feel like has been quite misunderstood. Now, of course, with his personality being quite quiet and reserved, he's mostly absorbed into doing his own thing, right? But what I'm talking about is as a character, and his existence inside Genshin Impact has been mostly misunderstood. For the longest time, his banner was regarded as the one with the least amount of sales, and of course that is different now. But at the time, people were even memeing on Albedo's banner as saying something like, well, this is not Albedo's banner, this is Bennett's banner, if you guys recall that. So my question is, why is this the case, right? Like, we don't really have a 5-star character that just feels so underappreciated as Albedo has been. Now, as we're getting closer to Ito's release, and of course with the Geo Resonance rework, Albedo did get to see more usage and more teams willing to bring him in to the Abyss. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change the fact that his banner sales barely broke 10 million. So with that said, today I want to shed some light with the case of Albedo and really show you guys what's going on here, and do the numbers match up with what is being said about him. All right, so first and foremost, I would like you guys to take a look at this chart according to the Genshin iOS revenue in the China market. And if we look at this, sure, it's not going to represent everything, but upon closer inspection, I'm sure everybody is able to see a trend. And that trend is that newer characters does not mean they sell better. Sure, right? Raiden Shogun, 33 million. What a surprise. But the second one is the original Venti banner. And followed by that is actually the Hu Tao rerun banner. And after that, it's the original Klee banner. So you guys can pause the video if you want and take a look if you can spot where Albedo sits. And for the quick and observant ones, you'll see that he sits at a relatively comfortable middle of the pack, $11 million, kind of right smack down the middle, right? Now, what's going on here is that this chart accurately shows us, while Albedo certainly isn't the most popular character, but his banner was far from being the least popular, and that goes to Mr. Worldwide's third rerun banner, but with Klee's rerun and of course Kokomi's first banner very close together. Now, do keep in mind, this is the chart representing the China market, but this also shows us something, which is that Albedo is far from being the least pulled character, and at this point he is likely owned by many players, at least right now looking at this, a third of the player base. And remember, we cannot use this chart to represent how liked or how desirable a unit is, because a character like Kazuha, who only has 9.8 million USD, is a very desirable unit who is currently seeing a large amount of usage in Spiral Abyss. And we all know the Chinese player base is very hardcore when it comes to these Abyss speedruns. So, of course, does that mean people are using Albedo in China more than Kazuha? Hell no. Alright, it's just people did not see the value in Kazuha until it was too late, and most people ended up skipping them. And of course, it's because of the upcoming banners being Ayaka, as well as potential Raiden Shogun coming very, very close to Kazuha, which resulted in a lot of people not pulling for him. But if we recall back to Albedo's case, he was also sandwiched between Zhongli, which is an Archon, as well as Ganyu, who ended up being and still currently is one of the top choices when it comes to just simple damage output. So I think at the end of the day, right now we have to see things and understand that it's about perspective, right? When you're comparing Albedo to regular character banners such as Tartaglia's, such as Zhao, such as Eula, Hu Tao's original banner, you can see that actually they're not that far apart. Sure, a little bit here give and take, but it's not as bad as we all thought it was, right? If you guys don't see this trend and you just think about the popularity of this character and how often it's discussed, how prevalent the fan base existence is in the community, it's easy to get the things askew due to the perspective being different, right? Here's something else I want to show you guys. So take a look at this. So here we have the Albedo main subreddit. So if you guys take a look here, 12.3k members. That's that's not that much comparative to some of the other character main subreddits, right? For example, we can take a look at Eula's subreddit. It's 31.4, right? That's more than double and closer to triple even. And as we go to Hu Tao mains, that is quite the difference. But you would argue like, well, these are more popular characters. Let's take a look at Zhongli. Bam, straight down to 16.3. So my point here is that it's all about the fan base and how much noise they're willing to make when it comes to how influential we think characters are. But at the same time, geo characters are just more straightforward. So you have to understand, for these kind of communities, people oftentimes come in here to discuss about mechanics, share their passion for certain characters, and at the end of the day, they just want to be a part of something that's bigger than themselves. But when it comes to Albedo mains, you guys know about Albedo mains, right? The way they interact with the community, the way they interact with other people, they're a very special breed of players themselves. And of course, Zhongli, we just saw it, and Tartaglia, able to soar up to 27.5. Never underestimate the power of the simps, right? With Raiden Shogun top of the sale charts, but hey, only sitting at 56.8k. You would think they would be the leader when it comes to community members, but they aren't, right? We go to Kaching mains, 54.4. Remember, if you look at the chart again, you will quickly realize that Kaching was nowhere near Raiden's sales. But once again, somehow she is one of those characters that people have just taken a liking to, and she's able to have communities swarm around her until this day. Kaching mains are some of the most dedicated mains I've ever met in Genshin Impact. With all that being said, we have to bring the point back to Albedo, right? So what's going on here? Do you who's watching this video, right? Do you guys think the difference between Albedo and the other characters, does it feel that close? Does it actually feel like people use Albedo, or Albedo exists in the same playing field as Tartaglia, as Zhao, as Eula, right? Because currently when we look at the banners and people who they're polling for, Eula is going to outpace Albedo. It's just that simple, right? It's more desirable unit being Eula, and one of the many reasons for that scenario is because Eula is also a main DPS. Here's something that I want to point out that most people probably don't consider when looking at this topic, and that is, when you pull for a character, you would want to see said character on the field, fighting and doing cool things. But with the case of Albedo, he's mostly sitting away in the back of the team and coming out once in a while to drop down his elevator, and bam, he's out again. And apart from that, he'll come out and throw out his burst skill, chuck some rock shards at them, and he's gone again. He's just not a character that you can really get to appreciate his combat prowess like many of the other characters, right? Raiden Shogun feels very prominent even when she's off field, and of course during her burst state you do get to use her stay on the field, and not to mention she facilitates so many different team comps. Follow that up with Eula's playstyle when she's always on field, considered a hyper carry who's constantly able to show off her prowess, and matching that to other characters. You guys know Zhao, you guys know Hu Tao, you guys know Ganyu. These characters all are able to both take the field and command presence. And unfortunately, Albedo is just one of those characters who gives more than he takes. All right. With that said, I think it highlights Albedo mains very well. They oftentimes just give, and they're some of the most wholesome people I have met. And it's a shame that the community oftentimes meme on this character whenever his banner comes around. The first time there was Bennett, and we memed on him saying, hey, it's not the Albedo banner, it's the Bennett banner. And this time around, unfortunately, he's sharing the spotlight with Eula. I just hope Albedo gets the credit he deserves and to shatter some of the misconceptions regarding Albedo as a very underwhelming character. People understand, sales does not represent power level. Look at Kazuha for the best example, right? Are you guys telling me Kazuha is worse than Albedo when it comes to game performance? I don't think so. All right. With that said, if you guys enjoyed any Genshin topic discussions, I would love to continue this conversation with you guys on my live stream, which will be happening today at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I hope to see you all there, as we're going to be trying to pull for a C6 Eula for one of the viewers. Hey, people are lining up to get some of that walrus luck, all right? So we're going to see what we can do. But until then, urge you all to stay safe and peace.